Your dad retired on a Thursday. No party, no cake, no speech. He simply came home at the usual time, except this time, he would not be going back the next morning. That night, after dinner, he walked over to his desk, opened a drawer, and pulled out a single sheet of paper. Folded once, he came over and handed it to you without saying a word. You unfolded it. It was a brokerage statement, and at the bottom of the page there was a number. You looked at it, then you counted the digits, then you counted them again. You looked up at him. He was standing there in the same gray jacket you had known since high school, the same jacket, the same man, and you said, "This is yours?" He nodded. You could not speak because the number on that page did not match the person standing in front of you, not even close. Let me take you back. When you were a kid, you never thought your family was poor, but you never thought you were rich either. Every summer, your classmates went to Disney World. You went to your grandmother's house. In middle school, everyone had a new phone. You had your dad's old BlackBerry. In high school, your best friend's family renovated their basement. Your family still had the same couch that had been there before you were born. You never went hungry, but there was never much extra. And as a child, you came to a simple conclusion. Either your parents did not make much money, or they did not know how to manage it. Here is what you did not understand at 10 years old. And honestly, what most adults still do not understand. There is a concept called lifestyle inflation. For most families, when income rises, spending rises with it. New salary, new car, promotion, bigger house, the money comes in, the money goes out. And after 30 years, the bank account looks almost exactly the way it did at the beginning. Your father's household worked differently. Income went up, spending did not. And as a child sitting on that old couch, you had no way to tell the difference between cannot afford more and chooses not to spend more. From the outside, they look exactly the same. Fast forward, you are 25. You have your first real job. You open a brokerage account and buy your first stock. You feel like you have figured something out. At Thanksgiving dinner, you look across the table at your dad and say, "You know, you should really invest your savings. Bank interest rates are basically zero." He smiles. He does not say anything. You are 27. You send him an article about index funds. You add a message. "Want me to help you set up an account?" He replies, "Thanks." You are 29. You are on the phone with your mother complaining. Dad is so conservative. That money is just sitting there losing value to inflation. Your mother goes quiet for a moment. Then she says, "Your father has his own way of doing things." You do not think much of it. Meanwhile, your own account has grown from $5,000 to $22,000 in 3 years. You feel smart. You feel as though you have passed him. You genuinely believe, with love and with the best intentions, that you are financially ahead of your father, that you understand something he does not. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect applied to money. You learn a little, and suddenly you think you know more than the quiet person who has been doing it for 30 years. Now let us return to that Thursday night, to that sheet of paper. The number was $1,370,000. Your father was a public school teacher. He had never earned more than $75,000 a year in his life. You asked him how he had done it. He gave you 3 answers. "I set up an automatic transfer during my first month of work. 20% of every paycheck went into my retirement account. I never stopped. I never sold. Not in 2008, not in 2020, not once. And I never told anyone, not even your mother, until last year." You stood there, and your mind did something it had never done before. It took every memory you had of this man and replayed it in reverse. The old jacket, not because he could not afford a new one. The old car, not because he did not know any better. The vacations you never took, not because the money was not there. Every single thing you had, felt mildly embarrassed about as a child, had been a deposit. Money, he had quietly redirected into the market, where it sat, and doubled, then doubled again, and again. Let us look at the math. Because the math makes this almost impossible to argue with, suppose you begin at 22 and invest $850 every month. That is roughly 20% of a $55,000 salary, contributed before taxes to a retirement account. You earn an average annual return of 8%, and you continue for 35 years. You do not stop, you do not sell, You do not touch the money. Your account grows beyond $1.3 million. That is not genius. The strategy is so simple that it is boring. One index fund, the S&P 500. One automatic transfer. He never changed the system. The only thing he adjusted was the dollar amount as his salary increased. The percentage stayed the same. He did two things that 99% of people struggled to do. He never stopped, and he never looked. Because the money was held inside a tax-deferred retirement account, he did not pay capital gains taxes along the way for 35 years. That tax deferral alone can make an enormous difference to the final balance compared with investing the same amount through a regular taxable account. You sat with him for 2 hours that night. You asked every question you could think of. His system was almost absurdly simple. One fund, one automatic transfer, one rule. We do not discuss money at the dinner table. You asked him about the hardest moment. He said it was 2008. His account fell from $480,000 to $270,000. His co-workers were selling everything. He told you that over the weekend, he went outside and repaired the fence in the backyard. I didn't open my computer. I fixed the fence. Then on Monday, I went back to work. This is what researchers call the behavior gap. The average investor often earns less than the market itself, not because people always choose the wrong funds, but because they buy and sell at the worst possible moments. Your father did not beat the market. He simply refused to get in his own way, and over 35 years, not getting in your own way is the strategy. The real value of automation is not convenience. It is the elimination of decision points. Every moment that requires you to make an active choice is another moment in which you can make the wrong one. There is a term for people like your father, the invisible rich. They often share three characteristics. They drive a car well below what their income could support. They rarely bring up investing in conversation. And when the market crashes, they are doing something completely unrelated. Repairing a fence, walking the dog, not opening the app. But this was the part that hit you hardest that night. Every single thing you had been mildly ashamed of as a child, the couch, the car, the phone, the vacations you never took, had been a deposit. Each one represented a few $100s your father quietly redirected into the market. Money that remained there for 20, 25, or 30 years, compounding in silence. He had not been depriving you. He had been building something for you, something you would not understand until you were old enough to need it. Because the final thing he said that night, after showing you the number, after explaining the system, after sitting with you for 2 hours, was this: half of it is for you. Your father was never bad with money. He was never behind. He was not the one who needed to be saved. He was the only person who understood money well enough that he did not need anyone else to know. And now, you know.